This is an overview of tribes' learning communities and the research-based components that underlie it. I'm Glenda Hinesley. I'm Assistant Director of Federal Programs at Region 7 Education Service Center, and I'm also a Tribes trainer. Tribes supports improving the school climate, which is critical success factor number 6 from the Texas Center for District and School Support. It also supports the turnaround principles that's listed in the ESEA flexibility waiver, which is to establish a school environment that improves school safety and discipline and addresses other non-academic factors that impact student achievement, such as students' social, emotional, and health needs. The shared mission and goal of tribes is to assure the healthy development of every child so that each has the knowledge, skills, and resiliency to be successful in a rapidly changing world. The goal for a tribe school is to engage all teachers, administrators, students, and families in working together as a learning community dedicated to the caring and support, active participation, and providing positive expectations for all students. There are 4 basic tribes community agreements, and those are attentive listening, the right to pass, expressing appreciations and giving no put-downs, and mutual respect. The tribe's learning community is a whole school model that's built upon a synthesis of over 30 years of research-based best practices around 16 components for effective pedagogy and school reform. It is a capacity-building model and supports the campuses through a training of trainers model. So if a campus implements tribes, they would then want to have their own trainer to provide for ongoing support and continuity of the tribes process. It also aligns with the 5 tenets of a healthy whole child, which are providing healthy, safe, engaged, supported, and challenged experiences for children. So these are some of the various components that are taught throughout the tribes process. In red are the 4 tribes agreements. So under the healthy column, tribes is based on child and adolescent development. It celebrates achievements, expresses appreciations, builds resilience, and has energizers built in that also align with the healthy concept. It does provide a safe environment, partially through the agreements of mutual respect, no put-downs in expressing appreciations again. The right to pass is a concept taught that helps, it's built on their right to say no if they don't feel comfortable in a situation. Participating fully, their inclusion activities so that all students are able to participate, and they are taught to resolve conflict. In the engage column, the strategies are brain-compatible learning strategies based on cognitive theory, embeds multiple intelligences. Students are taught to listen attentively, and there's reflective practice built throughout all the activities. Students are supported. It values their diversity, whatever culture they're from, and their ideas. They learn to work on tasks together. They learn cooperative learning strategies and to work in a group. The teacher models, and it is a democratic group process. In the challenge column, students are continually challenged. It is built upon a constructivist theory of learning. It teaches the 5E model of instruction. Students are taught to make responsible decisions. They're taught some problem-solving strategies, and authentic assessment is embedded throughout the process. A few years ago, some elementary campuses in Longview ISD implemented tribes. This was a graphic from 1997 and 98. Within 6 months after implementation, their discipline referrals dropped by 70%. And then for the entire year, the data showed that referrals decreased by 57% overall. An elementary school in Waterloo, Iowa, saw the same results. They had a decrease of 57% in their suspensions within the first 2 years of using the tribes process, and most significantly, suspensions in their special ed population went down by 82%. in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a middle school found that students in their tribes classrooms were significantly less likely to be referred than students from the non-tribes classroom. So in the tribes classroom, they had 27% referrals to the principal's office or counselor's office as compared to 73% being referred from the non-tribes classrooms. 55 teachers in Spring Branch ISD were surveyed who had been trained and been using the tribes process, and they reported that they spent less time managing student behavior, teachers had more time for creative teaching, students saw the new learning as fun, mutual respect was evidenced through behaviors, and group behaviors changed even at bus stops as students began accepting more responsibility for their behaviors. This illustration is what's called the Tribes Trail. And you see at the very bottom the 4 yellow signs. Those are the tribes agreements that are taught throughout the process. It begins with students coming into the classroom as individuals, and they begin working together in pairs, and there are many inclusion activities throughout the tribes process and activities. This begins to build a sense of belonging. Students begin learning to present themselves, stating their needs and expectations, and being acknowledged. They learn to work in pairs, then they work in triads and subgroups, and at this point the groups change. They will be with different students in groups of 4 or 3 or pairs as they embed the agreements. As they move through the process, then they move into what's called the stage of influence, and they begin to learn to value one another's differences. They set goals, they learn conflict management strategies, some decision-making strategies, they learn to solve problems, and they learn to celebrate the diversity because they value the differences that each student has and the strengths that each student has, strengths and talents in different areas, and they begin to move into shared leadership. As they move into the stage that's called community, they'll be placed in a permanent tribe or a family group, whatever you want to call it, and they will stay in that group for the rest of the year. That doesn't mean that they won't sometimes work with other students, but they will be assigned a permanent family group that they'll continue to learn some additional strategies to work together. They will have group challenges. They'll learn to support one another. They learn constructive thinking. They'll continue to learn social skills and have shared responsibility for the group. And they will tap into each other's personal gifts or strengths, and they learn to celebrate achievements together. So this creates that whole sense of community. If you'll notice at the bottom, the red arrow pointing to the facilitator's role is to gradually transfer responsibility to the group. The group learns to self-monitor and take responsibility for their actions, which ties perfectly into the new T-TESS model for teachers. The tribes process creates a new pattern of interaction. This illustration on the left shows the old style of teaching where the teacher's at the center, delivering instruction to all the students sitting in rows. Tribes creates the illustration on the right. It's very interactive. They're working with different groups of students, pairs, triads, groups, and the teacher is moving about the classroom. The elements of a tribe's learning experience includes an inclusion activity, the stated learning objectives, a cooperative learning experience, and reflection is built into the learning experience. And then students, finally, they express appreciations, and this is part of every tribe's learning experience. Tribes does support the new T-TESS model. In the planning dimension in 1.3, and in T-TESS, proficient is a rock-solid teacher, but I'm going to look all the way over to distinguished to highlight where the tribes process fits into T-TESS. So here, in the planning dimension, under knowledge of students, it talks about opportunities for students to utilize their individual learning patterns, habits, and needs to achieve high levels of academic and social-emotional success. In the instruction dimension 2.1, the teacher provides opportunities for students to establish high academic and social-emotional expectations for themselves. In the learning environment dimension 3.2, under managing student behavior, the teacher consistently monitors behavior subtly, reinforcing positive behaviors appropriately, and intercepts misbehavior fluidly. And the second bullet, students and the teacher create and adopt and maintain classroom behavior standards. In the learning environment dimension 3.3, under classroom culture, the teacher consistently engages all students with relevant, meaningful learning based on their interests, abilities to create a positive rapport among students, and students collaborate positively and encourage each other's efforts and achievements. Tribes is all over the world. It's in many different countries, and it works with every culture because of the way it values diversity and creates the social skills and the supportive learning environment. Tribes Learning Communities is a 4-day training. It's available. It's scheduled this summer on July 11th, 12th, 18th, and 19th here at the Service Center. It will be repeated during the fall. It is available upon request. We'll be glad to come to your district and train your entire campus staff if that meets your needs, and we can customize the training as you see fit to meet the needs of your campus. There's no fee if you're a Title I contracted member. The original training is based out of California, and their fee ranges from $300 to $350 per person. We do include the book in our training. If you're not a contracted member, there's a per person fee, or you can contact us. We can come do a customized training for your campus through a customized service agreement. This is the Tribes website. It's tribes.com, and this video on the bottom right here, I encourage you to watch this. This lady talks about being trained in Tribes as a first-year teacher and the impact it had on her classroom. She's now a Tribes trainer and has been with the company for many years. Here's my contact information and my administrative assistant, Judy Moffitt. Would love to work with you. Just give me a call or email me and let me know how we can support your campus in creating an effective learning environment. Thank you.